Hello, I'm filmmaker Richard Santiago, and I am the co-director of a documentary entitled When Bullies Become Bosses, a documentary about the lives of several people and their hardship of workplace bullying. And I'm starting this series of documentaries or clips on YouTube. I would go around YouTube and I would see these people who have no knowledge of film. And I'm commending them. I'm not knocking them down. But no knowledge of film, they put up a camera, they film their thoughts, and they get it down on film, and they place it on YouTube, breaking all the rules of film, and that's okay, and it's great. And they have all these subscribers to their website because they're getting information out, and the information people want to hear. Well, I think bullying is a topic that people want to hear about, and not just workplace bullying, all types of bullying. So I'm going to create these series of YouTube videos. They're not going to be artistic. They're going to break laws of filmmaking, such as going to have jump cuts. And for those of you that don't know what a jump cut is, this is a jump cut. So, and I'm hoping to get the word out about what I'm trying to do, and that's end all types of bullying. So I have my phone here, and I received an email today from the OIG. The person says, "Dear Mr. Santiago, it happens that I am with the OIG for Department of Health and Human Services. You need to contact the OIG for the Postal Service." And then he gives me all the information below. But I guess what he didn't understand in my email is that it is my opinion that the Postal Service is corrupt. That's my feeling and that's my opinion. So going to the OIG for the Postal Service is not going to help, because in my opinion, they are going to help cover up anything that the Postal Service does, that the managers and the supervisors do at the Postal Service. Let me give you an idea of what they do. And this has happened on several occasions. And before I tell the story, I do want to tell people I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe below if you haven't already. Like us on Facebook at The Bully Exposed. Follow us on Twitter at The Bully Exposed. And if you want to tell your story, please go to thebullyexposed.com or thebullyexposed.net to tell us your story, especially if what I'm about to tell you affected you, because I want to know, because I've spoken to several postal workers throughout the United States, and some of them are out of their job just because of this. And in fact, I have a very dear friend who's out of work because of the same thing. So here's what the Postal Service does. They issue discipline that has no merit, that has no evidence of any kind. And they issue you this discipline. And it's my belief that they issue it with the intent that nothing is going to happen to it, because the grievance process is just going to knock it down, So, and you're probably saying to yourself, well, then that means that the unions are working, right? I think the unions are in cahoots with this too. I think they're kind of doing the win the small fight but lose the big war type of situation is what I believe that they're doing. So what the Postal Service does is they issue these disciplines, as I said. They have no merit. They have, so the person reads it and it gets removed or dismissed out as having no merit. But the Postal Service holds on to these disciplines in their records. It's taken off the record from the personal file of the employee, but it's kept on somewhere in the Postal Service. Let me give you an example of one that they did to me and one that they do a lot. It's their normal practice. One supervisor will tell you to do a certain thing. For a postal worker, it may be to pitch up a different route that the carrier is not on. So he'll pitching up this route. Let's call it Route A for the sake of argument. One supervisor will come and tell him, or one manager will come up and tell him, go and pitch up Route A for me, please. So he starts setting up Route A so that someone else can take it out to the street, is what pitching up means. So he'll pitch up that route. Then a second supervisor will say, leave Route A for a while. I need you to go to Route B and pitch that up. So he'll start to pitch that route up. And then the first supervisor will come up and say, you did not follow my direction because I told you to pitch up Route A. And when I came, you were pitching up Route B. But with the Postal Service, the rule is that you are to follow, and I believe that I'm saying this verbatim, you're to follow the order of your last supervisor. The last order of the last supervisor, excuse me. You're to follow the last order of the last supervisor. So that means that if Supervisor 1 tells you pitch up Route A, and Supervisor 2 tells you to pitch up Route B, your job is to just stop Route A and go to Route B and do that. And you shouldn't have any repercussions of that. But that's what the Postal Service is doing. I think they're doing it purposely. It's my feeling that they are doing it purposely, that maybe sometimes 2 supervisors are in on that. And then what they do is they'll issue discipline on that. And it'll be removed because he followed what he was supposed to do. But they'll keep it on file. Now, let me tell you a story that happened to someone that I worked with. So this is not hearsay, so you know this is not hearsay. I mean, I guess you can call it hearsay because he told me the story, and now I'm telling you the story. But for the most part, we can say it's not hearsay. But he was told before he went out to do his route, this gentleman, that he's not to stop. This person was told before he went out to his route that he is to call at 3 o'clock and tell the person where he's at. And he's to come back at a certain time. The guy said, well, I can't be back by that time. This person said, I can't be back by that time. So what do? He was just call me at 3. So he was being followed on the street. And being followed on the street is where a supervisor comes and goes every step, follows you every step through your route. And it's supposed to be there to make sure that you're doing things safely, and that if any advice on how to do things quicker can be said. But what it really is used for is a way to harass the employee. So as he's going through his route, 3 o'clock comes on, and he picks up the phone and he attempts to call the supervisor, the first supervisor who told him, call me at 3 o'clock. The supervisor that was with him told him that you don't need to call. I'm a supervisor, and I'm telling you to keep on doing your route. So he did just that. He followed the order of the last supervisor, which was do not call. They fired him for that. When he got into an arbitration, now these arbitrations, I will say honestly, I've never been to one. I've never seen one. Never come close to one. But from talking for 4 years of investigating this story that I've been doing, I've got an idea of what it's like to be in these arbitrations with the union and the Postal Service. So he's in this arbitration, and the Postal Service whips out a stack of disciplines that they've been giving him for, I believe, 2 years. They've been just handing him discipline after discipline after discipline after discipline to try to show this paper trail. But as I said earlier, it's not a true paper trail, because if you give someone a letter of warning for something, finds out that he did not do it, that didn't exist. So there shouldn't be paperwork that the person received discipline for something that was later found out that he did not do, or that he did the right thing. So this is what they do. Again, this is what the Postal Service is. They showed it to the arbitrator. And it's my feeling that when you're in these arbitrations, everyone there works for the Postal Service. The arbitrator definitely works for the Postal Service. You know, the Postal Service works for the Postal Service. The people that are arguing against, for the Postal Service, work for the Postal Service. The arbitrator, it's my opinion, works for the Postal Service. Then you have the union person, and if the union person doesn't object, why would you not object to an arbitrator? Or if you look at it in reality, she's a judge, the person's a judge, looking at evidence that they shouldn't look at. So they're looking at this evidence. The person told me that they told the union steward she can't see this information. Before she saw it, she can't hear or see this information. Something needs to be done. I mean, now, are these arbitrations not designed for the union person to call a mistrial? You know, because that's a mistrial right there. When the jury hears evidence they weren't supposed to hear, I believe, I'm not a lawyer, let me say that straight out, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe that is a mistrial of some type, or it's a cause for stopping everything and not issuing a verdict on the case. It has to be, you know. But she heard or she saw all the discipline that was given to him. She said that she wasn't going to make her judgment based on that. But if you're not going to make your judgment based on that, then you should not be seeing any of this. So she saw it, and she upheld the removal that the Post Office gave this carrier based on that paperwork. And there is nothing that the person can do. So this person who contacted me from the OIG for Human Services sent me over to the OIG for the Postal Service? No. Because their only interest is protecting the Postal Service. And that right there should be a crime. Something that Obama should step into. And if you've seen my other video, I'll leave a link below of a call that I got from Obama's people, basically saying that they can't help this situation. If the president can't help, who can help? I'm trying to contact the United Nations to perhaps talk to some leaders, other leaders in other countries, you know, because some of you may disagree with me, but this is the way I look at it. Some people feel, I'm not saying it's true, okay, I don't know if it's true or not, but some people feel that live in other countries that the United States is the place that tries to tell other people how to live. And, you know, for instance, if you have a communist country, you know, I'm not going to name any communist country, we tell them it's wrong to do this, it's wrong to do that, but look at what we're doing. And then the sad part of it all is that we're hiding. We are hiding it, but we're basically doing the same things, in my opinion, that other countries are doing. It's terrible that these people are committing these horrible atrocities and they're not being held accountable for it. For instance, the union rep, why didn't he call a mistrial or whatever terminology is used in that arbitration when a arbitrator sees information or hears information she's not supposed, or he or she is not supposed to hear? Why didn't he stand up? Is he corrupt or is he afraid of retaliation? Because I can tell you right now, I was a union steward too. And if you didn't play the game, we'll call it that, the game, you were removed as union steward. At least that's what occurred to me. I wasn't voted in. I was sanctioned in, I guess you could say, by the president. And when I wouldn't play the games, then I was removed. Is that what that person was afraid of? Or is that person just corrupt in first place? And I could say that all the members of the union, all the executives are not corrupt. Some of them want to help. I spoke to some of them. I interviewed some of them. They want to help, but they know that if they push it too far, a certain issue too far, that they will be removed as a steward, and they feel they can do more help if they're in. But that's not what a union should be. It should be the other way around, where these people who want to do corruption and want to allow people to bully and this, they are the ones that should be removed. But yet, it's the opposite way around. So the basic gist of this is, I'm creating a documentary that's going to out all these people, basically. And I need your support. You know, you can start by clicking that button right down there and subscribing if you haven't already. Now, if this has occurred to you, I want you to please contact me. There is my information there to contact me. Contact me if this has occurred to you. Because I can tell you this has occurred to a lot of people in the United States, and a lot of them are afraid to speak up. But if we get together, if all the people who bound together, who have been bullied, bound together, and we can make a large community and push all these people who are bullied. Because you basically, from doing my research, I found that you have the person who's been bullied, you have the person who's doing the bullying, and then you have the person who, this doesn't really affect me, so I don't care. What we need to do is we need to get that person who feels this doesn't affect me, never been bullied, this doesn't affect me, so I don't care, to start understanding that this could be you someday. Someday you could be at work or in a situation where the subject that they're talking about is dear and close to your heart, and you see it being ignored, and you're going to stand up, and you're going to see what's going to happen to you. So why wait for that to happen? You know, there's a lot of things in life that have never affected me, you know, but why should I have to experience that in order to say, oh, I need to change this? And that's horrible. That's some thinkings of some Americans. Sorry, but it's true. It's the thinking of some Americans. It doesn't affect me, so why should I get involved? You know, I was not bullied at first, and I became a steward. Then I became a target. Then I was bullied. So I've been helping people bullying way before it affected me. You know, way before I was bullied. In fact, the fact that I wanted to speak up is what made me a target and what made me have to live through the life of being bullied by someone. And someone, it's more than one person. So, you know, one person I can handle is the group that did it in for me. So, I I'm going to close this and bring this to a close. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe below. Remember to check us out at thebullyexposed.com and thebullyexposed.net if thebullyexposed.com is down. Unfortunately, we get a lot of people to our site and it crashes our site, so we created thebullyexposed.net for that. So you can go to that if you happen to go to one site and the other one's not working. Okay? Thank you for watching, and remember, all lives have meaning, including yours. So let's make a change. It's terrible that these people who are committing these horrible atrocities are not being held accountable for this. The union rep should be able to speak up and call whatever mistrial or whatever terminology is used. Come on, dog.